Alright, so I'm going to be giving you a few tips on how to get rare. I myself never played through beta stage, and I started just like where every new jammer does now. And these are the steps I took and how I got to where I'm at. So with that said, anybody can become rare and get betas with trying. So with that started, let's go visit the store currently. Alright, so we're in the mart. It's really packed today, and I think it's because of the new update. Like, literally everywhere is full, and can't find nowhere to sit with anybody around. But anyhow, why we're at the mart is because items are always coming and going. There's new items, like they brought back the, spike set. I'm not sure which items are leaving. Oh, right over there. Oop, that's not what I wanted. But basically, you want to go through, and find items that are leaving, like the leaf necklace. It is not a seasonal item. I guess you could argue it may come back in spring again. But the point is, it's leaving. People are going to want it down the road. Which will give it some value rather than not if it's going to come back. It's not a guarantee. You can pick items up. For example, the toaster was in store. It wasn't from beta. And it left a couple months ago. And it's actually highly valued. And people trade good to flower crowns to other stuff for it. So basically, you want to look for items leaving, build up on them, and then trade them down the road for better items, and eventually you'll work up your way to betas. And then, even during seasonal, those items can be useful as people who miss the seasonal stage, like heart bow ties and all things like that, will later on want them, or even if they played through and didn't get it, will want them and to trade decent items that you can use to trade for better items. Just so they can have that color or get that item, even though it's going to be back, in a few months, because they want it now. So there's those, you can do that. I personally have done that. It takes time, and you have to wait for, items to pick up in rarity. But it happens. So, and you can do that with din stuff and everything else as well. Right, not everybody can get sapphire items, but you can through the actual treasure hunt does give you a couple items, so through saving you can build up to get certain pets, items, etc. But for example, they just brought back the tropical storm cloud, and if I remember correctly, these were in stores a few months ago, and they picked up value, or at least something similar to these, and there was no guarantee they were coming back. They didn't bring them back. But people were trading good for them because they were wanted. But sapphire items do leave and come back. So, there you can buy them. Even now, people will trade good for them now because not everybody can go out and, buy sapphires, etc. to obtain them. Like the certain sets that come in the pet bundles, if you're not exactly fond of that, you can use it to trade to get, say, other items and build up from them. So, there's that. Pretty much, to get beta, you have to be patient and hold on to stuff and play it right. It's just one big gambling game. And then when seasonal stuff comes around, for example, items values will drop and fall and raise. Like, if you remember, in February, if you played, the heart antenna lost its value. Basically, they were trading raccoons for it because it was a big fear that it was going to come back. And now their value is back up. So, if you traded a raccoon then for your heart antenna, you're only out a raccoon and you had a heart antenna, and their value has increased to, yellow butterfly and egg, depending on color. And I've been offered monocle for this, and at the time, you only traded a raccoon tail. So, it's a gambling game. Like, you took a risk, it might come back, it might not, but if you play it right and, there's a chance it's not going to come back, and you can use it down the road to trade for something better. But also, there's a downfall playing that game of gambling, the rare values and what's coming back and not. Because if it does come back, you're actually out of a raccoon and you didn't gain anything. But it's all, a game of luck when it comes down to that. But there are several methods to doing it. And personally, that's how I've done it. And over a span of a few months, I went from having nothing but a new jammer to having a full list of wind-up keys, 2 DJs, you name it, I've had it. But that's all through, taking my time and not getting frustrated when I get a bad item, or, if an item values drops. Don't trade it right away, as items values fluctuate very often. The heart antenna, butterfly wings are all examples of this.